So you've heard of a victory garden, but you don't know what to plant. Well, today on Wild Florida, we're going to be talking about the 3 types of plants that you need to be planting in your victory garden. Hi, I'm Jacqueline, the Wild Floridian, and welcome to episode 4 of the 9-part series where we go from a lawn to a victory garden in a snap. Victory gardens, which are all about increasing food security while reducing costs in a time of crisis. If this is your first time joining us and you want to start from the beginning, go ahead and click on this card right here, or you can wait till the end of this episode and a card will appear in one of these 4 corners. Okay, let's get going. Let's talk about the 3 plants that you need to be planting in your victory garden. So what are the 3 types of plants that have to be in your victory garden? Is it tomatoes? Is it peppers? Corn, squash, cabbage, rutabagas? Yes and no. Okay, remember I told you guys in the other episodes that I was gonna break this down in a way that nobody else was gonna be breaking it down. Well, here you go. The 3 types are plants for calories, plants for nutrition, and then plants for hydration. And I'm gonna even throw in a bonus one at the very end. But why am I gonna do it that way? Well, if you're doing this for food security, which means that either you can't access food because there's a lack of food at grocery stores, or because you're reducing costs and you're gonna supplement your main diet with what's in your yard, well, you gotta have the things that your body needs. So understanding what your body needs is really then tells you what you should be growing. So your body needs calories, which is basically the energy it runs on. It needs nutrition, which is the building blocks for regrowing skin and hair and fixing all the things and keeping your body running in the optimal way. And the third thing is your body needs water. And before modern times, a lot of your hydration came from what you ate. So that's what we're gonna get into. Now, I am gonna give specific plants that meet those 3 criteria as we go along. Okay, let's dive in deeper. So let's first talk about calorie producing foods. Okay, calories are all about the energy for your body. It is the gas that fills up the tank of your personal car. Don't put them in your car, that's what I'm talking about, right? So if you were in a situation either where food was really scarce or you really needed to just supplement those pounds of food for your family, calories would be where you should start first. So when you're thinking calories, what plants should you be planting? Well, think potatoes, or down here in the subtropics, go for sweet potatoes, or think about corn or other grains like amaranth, or think beans, like black beans and pinto beans, soybeans, right? All sorts of beans. Also think about things like turnips. These are your hearty, starchy foods that bring lots of calories, but what they do is they give you the energy to run and keep on going. So let's talk about the second type of crops that you need to be thinking about when picking out plants for your victory garden. So when we talk about nutrition plants, we really want to break that into 2 sections, macronutrients and micronutrients. So while the calories were the gas to get our car running, this second section is really about the building blocks, right? So you've got your big pieces and then your little pieces, and that's the difference between the macros and the micros. So the macros really break into 3 parts, which is going to be proteins, fats, and sugars. Some people say carbs. And you have to have all 3 of these things in order for your body to run. This is why a lot of people, when they go on diets that are low fat or low sugar, they tend to start having problems because the body needs these things to function. So when you're thinking about proteins, think about crops like lentils, or think about beans or peanuts. All these things can provide a food-based way of giving you protein in your diet. So the second thing that you're gonna wanna make sure you have for macronutrients is fats. Think about things like peanuts or avocados or chia, like they had in those commercials, chia. All of those are a source of fat for you in your diet that's non-animal based that could be planted in your victory garden. And the third type of macronutrient is sugars, or also known as carbs. And now you're probably thinking, I know, you're gonna tell me I have to grow sugar cane. No, I mean, you can. But for those of you guys who live outside of the subtropics and tropics, this isn't an option for you. And also, yeah, you could do it, but typically people don't put these in victory gardens. Think about things like tomatoes and peppers and berries and really almost all the plants have some amount of sugar content in them. Some just have more than others. So that, with the dose of fiber that they have, they're a really great source for that third macro component that you need. So after our macronutrients, now we want to make sure we have enough of the micronutrients. And a different way of calling these is vitamins, right? You want to make sure you have vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, and vitamin K all in your victory garden, because your body needs these things to keep on running. Now, the short answer of figuring out how to put vitamins is put lots of different colors. Get your purple, get your orange, get your yellow, red, green, all of that, all actually relate back to the vitamins that you should be having. But just to break it down one by one, we'll quickly go through some options of how you can get these vitamins. So for vitamin A, which is all about eye health because it has beta carotene in it, you probably remember this is carrots, or also sweet potatoes are great sources for vitamin A. For vitamin B, well, it's all about the letter B. Think broccoli, think beans. B. That's really funny. Right as I said vitamin B, a bee started flying around my head. Okay. Next on the list is gonna be vitamin C. And of course, everybody knows you get vitamin C from oranges. But besides planting that in your victory garden, you should also consider, again, things like spinach, or you can think tomatoes, think peppers. All those are great sources of vitamin C. Vitamin D. So where are you gonna get your vitamin D in your victory garden? Well, you're not gonna get it from actually planting things. It's going to actually be from planting in your victory garden. That's right, vitamin D comes from sunshine. So be outside, go and take care of your victory garden, and you'll get your vitamin D. But just make sure the family comes out and helps too, because they need their vitamin D. That's what you tell them when you need help. And last but not least, we need to make sure we get vitamin K. Vitamin K can be found in things like kale or spinach or green onions, usually dark leafy greens, and vitamin K is used for things like regenerating your bones. So you should eat some of that. And there are a lot of other vitamins that you need to be getting, but I'm not gonna go through them all because this could take all day to go through. But by having a lot of mixture of different types of plants with a lot of different colors in them, you will help ensure that you guys are getting enough vitamins. So the third type, after we have our calories, we have our nutrition, it's also good to make sure that we have plants that provide hydration. See, that's how a lot of animals get their hydration, is not actually from drinking water, it's from eating things that have high water content. And similar for us back in the day before we had, indoor plumbing. So think about plants that have high water content. And the most obvious one would be things like watermelon, right? But things even like tomatoes and berries that have high water content, you bite into them and there's that burst of flavor. Those are things that have high water content. So make sure you have some of those in your garden too. And the fourth thing, the bonus that we talked about of things that you need to plant in your garden, well, you need to make sure you plant things that you're going to eat. If you don't plant things that you're going to eat, well, then what was the whole point of planting this victory garden, right? You can't increase food security if you're just gonna plant food that you never eat, right? And you can't reduce costs if you're not gonna eat it either. So take a long look at the things that you cook, the things you buy from the grocery store, or even if you don't cook a lot right now and you're converting over and you're going from restaurants, think about the foods that you're gonna wanna recreate and that are typical. So when we did this analysis, we found that there was a lot of tomatoes, peppers, and onions in our dishes. So we knew those were gonna be must-haves for our victory garden. So I gave you guys a lot of different plants for you guys to think about planting. And if you go online, you can find lots of different lists that say these are the must-have vegetables and plants. So remember, make sure they're the ones that you're gonna eat. But some classics that you might wanna go with is the Three Sisters. This is a Native American technique that goes well before Europeans were here, which is planting the Three Sisters, which would be corn, squash, and beans all together, and they have a very symbiotic, intertwined relationship that's beneficial for all three plants and provides high yields. So if you can, I would plant something like that all together. Another thing to think about are our classic, what we call a Italian garden. So think about a tomato, a basil, and maybe some green onions together. Those are a classic combination that often go well in dishes. Or I like to do tomatoes, peppers, onions with cilantro and go a little south of the border. So those are some different combinations that can be really fun to put together because they can help each other with different dishes. So I hope you got some ideas on all the different types of plants that you could be putting in your victory garden. Now, start to get a short list. I know I'm gonna be doing things like tomatoes, peppers, tomatillos, yes, because I like my salsa, and onions, green onions, what else am I putting in there? Oh, I think that there's gonna be some sunflowers, lettuce, spinach. Wait, that's a lot. They might not all fit. Well, we'll work on that more next time. Okay, so now we've picked the plants that we're gonna put in our victory garden, and the next thing is well, we gotta get planting. And when we plant, we need to make sure we do it in a way that we get the most amount of food out of our victory garden. So that's gonna be next episode. And in order to make sure you don't miss it, go ahead and like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notification. New videos each week, except right now we're doing 5 videos a week for 3 weeks so we can do our normal 2 plus the extra ones because we're in a time of crisis. Now, while you wait for that next video to come on out, go ahead and dig deeper into growing food in the Growing Food is Easy Challenge series, or if you need some other ideas for growing food, check out the Growing Food is Easy series, or just check out other videos we've got on the channel. I'll see you soon. Bye.